about now? Ah, I got it. Sorry about that, kids. Is that better? Got it. So there um, should be interesting charts to look at. Nothing dramatic, not a bunch of dramatic changes at all, but we've got some interesting charts to look at. And being that markets are flipping around as they are, we should go look at them. So shortly I will send out, or I'm going to send out a couple of messages now, and shortly we'll begin our technical analysis session. Just to let you know, the markets came off a little, but only to levels that we had already written down from last night in our OMNI trading plan, where you'd have to keep stops below certain levels. My plan said keep your stops if you're going to trade below 27.66 in ES, the low being 27.64. It doesn't mean it fell apart yet, right? So let's see what happens towards the end of the day on that. Just saying, it's still within the confines of where OMNI expected it to be trading through today. Anyway, let me send out a few messages to get a few Omniacs over here, and then we'll get started. I don't know if the internet's fast or slow right now. I can't tell. It's probably a different link now. Let's see what that would be. This would be it. Almost done. What's Super Chat? It's a way to allow people to post whatever they want, barring crazy links. I don't know how to do that. I have to be fast. What's going on here? Alright, how much time do we have? Oh, we still have a little bit of time. The market is certainly gaining its legs slightly again. We'll see what the charts look like. Glad to see it didn't just nosedive here. Dan, oh, that static is going on YouTube, right? Couple of more posts. Sending it out to my friends on social networking. See if we could all be prepared together. the slow side here. Just Mr. Twits. Come on. Thank you. Whoa. I just lost the screen. It's back. I wonder how that happened. It's back. You think it's all over now, huh? I don't know. We'll look together. I haven't looked at the chart yet. I'm assuming it's probably going to look ugly, Michael, to be honest with you. All right, so a few more of you are filling up. And it is 3:13. I am just going to grab a bottle of water, if you cats don't mind. You know, I'm going to leave my caps lock on so you guys can tell when I'm typing. So... All right, I should just put it on mute for a moment, I guess. my water, and we're just a few moments from beginning. So welcome everybody. Thank you for showing up. We'll be starting in just a moment, and we'll see where it goes from there. A little chilly out here today. We had snow here in Vegas, if you can believe that. I ran outside to get water from outside. It's ice cold. All right, countdown. 1 minute. We got snow, yeah, absolutely. We got, you know, enough to have a little snowball fight last night in the back and the front. Second time I've seen snow here in 10 years, unless I drive up to the mountains. But where I live, second time in 10 years. So it was exciting. Kids enjoyed it. I had fun. I like snowball fights. But we have more important things to discuss. Markets are moving. All right, let's begin. Cap lock is on, isn't it? Yeah, everything's wrong. Let's begin, kids. All right, there we go. So, looks to me like the markets are finally softening a little bit. As you can see with today's dip, has not recovered. So, let's go see what the market itself looks like. Now, these are going to be the same charts that we look at every day. No trickery, nothing new here. You know what these charts look like. The beauty of it is they keep morphing into something new and different every day. So we continue to follow the same charts, and if we keep it simple and don't add a bunch of nonsense on here that doesn't make sense, we can make sense of what should happen next. So here we are moving along very nicely in the S&P. And, you know, please know that this is very risky. Looking at charts can make things seem simple, but you need to have stops. You need to have risk capital. You can lose way more than you had planned in this game. Know that. Put your stops in first. Really be careful, okay? Hang out with me in my trading room. It won't cost you anything to hang out with me. It runs 24 hours a day. We are always there hanging out, watching markets, getting ready for any market moves. So come and hang out with us there. If you don't know what you're doing, I'll try to keep you in check. Barring that, let's go take a look. We're sitting here looking at Thursday. And as you know, we live by the OMNI sword. We die by the OMNI sword. So if it changes for tonight and says go short, we are going short. We got blessed with a great trade in E-mini S&P and Russell this morning. Bought it in the very low 80s, like 27.82-ish, 82.5. Got out near 27.95. Bought it again near 27.81. Got out near 27.71 and gave back some of the money for the day. Same sort of fare happened in Russell, so we gave back some of what we made, but we leave a winner for the day. And I thought, now that we're out of the markets, let's go look. As we know, the flavor of the month, last and this one, you know, it seemed to be starting in January in some markets and leading into Feb in the ones that we're following. So the flavor of the month, at least in the indices, has been this 200 bar moving average. and we got above it very smartly, and that looked good, and we had a nice run, and we had a nice turnaround day today. You know, I don't mind turnaround days, but I dislike when they happen to be outside type days like this one. And an outside day simply means easy to spot. The high of this day is higher than the day before. The low of this day is lower than the day before. And you close lower than that day. If you were rallying and you close lower, that would be considered a reversal day, an outside reversal day. That I don't like to see, especially when the market's rallied up for a long time and has had trouble around the 200. So if we close down here, we still have time. The market's got an hour and a half. If we close down here, that's an outside reversal day. I don't like the way that looks. We'll see what Omni thinks about it tonight. That would be in your E-mini S&P. NASDAQ, looking at this, and of course the very same charts that we look at together every day, I don't like that even slightly. Let me click that one more time, blow it up a little bigger. I don't like that, do you? Below the 200. Drops out of this wonderful channel that it seems to have been able to hold on every dip. Doesn't mean we'll stay here. It doesn't mean we'll close here, but that I don't like. So this tricky, slippery area is starting to be exactly that. The next hurdle, if you ask me, we've not gotten above it yet in the NASDAQ because the 200 was that hurdle. And we've hit it a few times, but not really done it. You know, we just can't seem to get away from it. And now that we're below the channel, maybe it means nothing. We'll see what Omni thinks tonight, but I don't like that. So, of course, this is simple analysis. There's much more complicated analysis that need be done before we can decide if we're buyers or sellers and where we would do that action. But this is something I'm sure I'm not the only person will notice. So NASDAQ, not so good. I thought that S&P looked slightly better, but an outside reversal isn't a good thing. NASDAQ certainly doesn't look good right there. Let's see what the Russell looks like. Rounding to third base, we look at the Russell 2000, and when I look at that Russell 2000, I wonder what happened there. Stops cold at the flavor of the month, and then puts in an outside reversal down day so far. It didn't close, so we don't want to call it for sure. I don't want to give it a name yet, but if it closes low, very low by its lows, it would be considered another outside reversal. But interesting that that happens right at the 200. I know, Seth, your mouth is watering at this point, I would imagine, right? Oscar's talking about a possible down day, Seth. You must be doing like belly whoppers on the floor right now. So this could be one of your days, kid. Let's see what happens. For now, you know, we'll see. I'm not expecting any major down move, but if Omni says sell, we're going to have to sell. I'm afraid to do that, but we'll have to. And let's move along. Our indices, we've done 3. Let's go see what the transportation average looks like. So that transportation average that was sitting in that F flag that we've looked at the last couple of sessions hasn't fallen out of the F flag by any means and is still above the 200 ball moving average. So this one you wouldn't put in the loser column as you would the other ones we just looked at. S&P worrisome because of the possible, if it closes lower, outside reversal day. NASDAQ because it doesn't seem to be able to get above the 200. Russell, that was really scary. Forget about that little picture. And Dow Jones trends, you could say, okay, that one's not so ugly yet. And let's go look at what the Dow itself is doing. Now, the Dow itself probably looks best because it's been looking best all along. Dow still in its channel. Certainly still above the 200 ball moving average. So that doesn't look nearly as troublesome. Just looks like a market gyrating around as the others do. So you've got 3 ugly, 1 iffy, and 1 not so bad. So that doesn't mean an absolute turn, but just let's keep our eyes on this, cats, because this could mean that we're going to turn down for a couple of days. We'll see how that goes. We know if we keep our stops in, you know it'll be out, right? So put your stops in so you don't freak out over these next couple of days if the market changes direction. That is your risk management. Put your stops in. So then we've been basically on the hunt, if you will, in the gold market for a few weeks now. Chasing down the gold, trying to get long whenever we can. We take some sell trades, short trades, but luckily there's been more buy trades than sell trades. So let's go take a look at that gold because it is shaping up interestingly. I agree with you there, eyes wide open. Dow leading is not as good as Nas leading. So here's your gold, and as you know, we've been playing with this cup and handle. Worked out really well. Lots of good trades throughout that. Bull flag. Not all the trades were good, by the way. We had some losing trades. I'm not going to lie about that. We never do lie about our losing trades, but it was also able to give us a lot of decent winning trades and give us decent signals, which is even more important, like coming out of the handle, breaking out into a bull flag, having that bull flag break out. We watched all of this happen together day after day. Then we started to get long again, and look what has happened today. Now, interestingly enough, I gave out this number in gold in the video. I wrote it on the chart with a magic marker, and I had it on my whiteboard and said, if we can't get past this wall of worry at 1349, we'll have a problem. However, we get past 49, we can run right up to 65. Well, we did not get past 49. In fact, the high, since I mentioned that in the video, the high has been 1349.80 possibly. What's this? 1349.80 was the high since, and look at the drop that we've witnessed. We've come all the way down to the 1327.26 area. Interestingly enough, we got out of our trade yesterday at 1349, 1348.80 right there. Sidestep the market, and my advice in our OMNI today, if I can remember correctly, I gave this advice last night. Let me see if I can pull it up for us. In the OMNI, I believe I said we are going to avoid trading gold or NASDAQ today. Let me see if that's in this OMNI for today, because I can remember thinking it. I hope I also typed it. So let's look down here. I'm sure it's down there somewhere. Does anybody else remember reading that in my OMNI today? I will find it for you and bring it back out and show that to you, because I remember seeing it. So let me just, I'll go back to that. So, and in one of my flash updates, I mentioned today we are going to not trade gold, and we are going to not trade the NASDAQ. And we sidestepped gold. We didn't get short, but we sidestepped it. And interesting how it reached that 1349 technical level that OMNI gave us. And look at the back off. Luckily, we didn't get a buy signal, right? I'll give OMNI credit for that. Thank the Lord we didn't get a buy signal here today. So we were able to avoid getting on the wrong side of the market by sidestepping and sticking to our plan, getting out because it didn't get above 49. And in our gold trade, the flash update literally said, if gold does not get above 1349 and hold, get out immediately, which is what we did, and we got blessed there. So just following our plan, gold went to a technical level and has backed off. That doesn't mean the end of gold is, the top of gold is in. It's had a very smart rally, and if you'll see during that rally, it's had lots of pullbacks. The handle was a pullback. The flag was a pullback. The big breakout of the flag is now having a one-day pullback so far. We'll see what that means. So I don't know what we'll be doing with gold because I don't know what the signal will be from OMNI this afternoon. But I certainly hope that the gold, that we get a good OMNI signal and gold lets us in and we'll just play along. If I don't like the setup, if the setup doesn't look like it's an easy trade to get into, we will avoid gold one more day and pick it up on Sunday night. We'll let the market tell us that. If we take a look at that weekly gold chart, I think we had one sitting here somewhere we've been looking at, right? That's not it. Maybe it's here. All right, yes, we had a gold weekly chart that we've been looking at. And we've looked at this chart day after day together, week after week. The average pop extends to 45. If we can get past that 49 mark, has been our Omni advice, at least Omni saved us there. Well, it didn't get above 49. It stopped cold at 49 and dropped. But on the weekly, it doesn't look terrible to me. I don't think it looks terrible to anyone right now. So let's see how the rest of the week develops in gold. See what this weekly bar turns into. The daily bar, you know, that's scary as could be if you're a day trader, but what goes up does pull back. We don't always go straight up. So let's see if it's just a pullback on the daily in gold or not. And let's see where else were we. We were here. Now, just to see if anything else is following along. How's Apple doing? Did it ever get away from that ugly flag-looking thing? I think we looked at this together a couple of days ago. Apple, is it still near that? Yeah, it's still sitting in that possible flag, ugly-looking thing, whatever that might be. That's this. And we've been looking at this together every day, right? I keep putting this flag there and saying, well, maybe that's a bear flag growing. You know, and well, now, watching today's market action sure could be a bear flag growing, so let's keep our eyes on that. Let's not label it yet. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Let's give it a moment. But we'll keep our eyes on it. And then, of course, we've got something like Netflix. Let's see what that's doing. Still hasn't gotten away from this flag area, right? Just hanging around. Same thing we look at almost every day. So Netflix, no big change there. I'm just kind of hanging around inside this kind of really rather large flag type formation. Of course, you could cut that down to something a lot tighter if you were a day trader of Netflix and find out what's going on inside of that. But let's just leave the big flag because we're not day trading Netflix. And let's see what's happening with that. Let's see. Amazon, what's that bad boy doing? Besides taking over another industry somewhere. All right, so Amazon, same as we look at every day, which is why I like to look at the same charts every day, because you can see when something develops. Now we're starting to bounce off this bottom line once again of the possible whatever this is. So, of course, you can break this up different ways. I just included this big up day because it went right to the 200 bar moving average, right? Well, you know, I mean, you could always draw this up other ways. I'm sure you can cut through that bar if you really wanted to and see if that's resistance or support, but I don't know. The bar's there. It happened. We can't pretend it didn't, and it went to the 200 bar moving average, this bar I'm referring to. So I'm just including it for now into whatever it is that we're looking at. If you recall, if I recall correctly, on Amazon, it seems to be stuck between two averages. This should be 50, and I believe it's stuck between those two averages right now. Move away this possible flag thing, or consolidation, if you will, and you see how Amazon is just stuck between the 50 and the 200? Couldn't possibly be me who figured that one out, right? The street must be all over that, wondering if you buy it at the 50 and sell it at the 200. They must be having fun with it somehow. It works out for us to trade it that way if we wanted to. Amazon's ranges are extremely wide, even though the bars look small. And the price of Amazon is extremely expensive. So I'm assuming there aren't as many cowboys in this market as there are in the lesser priced stocks. But, you know, I mean, you can certainly trade the signals in here if you've got the account worthy of trading something this. It's a big stock, very expensive, big movement. But so that's the analysis here. It's just kind of sitting around boring. We'll see what happens once it gets away from this. I see someone's written Tesla in here, so we could certainly take a quick look. I never seem to like that chart ever, but let's look at it. Every time I pull this up, I say the same thing. Yuck. Oh, there you go. Worse. Now I hate it worse than I used to. And that was a bear flag, wasn't it? I mean, every time I look at this chart, I wonder, wow, what has happened? It's just, it looks worse all the time. It's going to get its little death cross if this continues on, too, by the way. It's the 50 and the 200. They'll have to cross on top of Tesla. If that happens, you know, not good. But it's interesting because I've been looking at charts for 38 years now. And there are certain charts I look at and just go, oh, awful. And every time I pull up Tesla, a company I like, ran from a gentleman I think is fantastic. I love modern day inventors. There aren't that many of them. I think Elon's fantastic. I think his company ideas are great. So whatever as far as that's concerned. But when I look at the chart of his company, I go, yuck. At least his Tesla company. He's got others. This one, I don't know where that's going, kids. So every time I look at the chart, I say it's ugly, and that was when we started looking at this chart together. It was probably in the 330s. Now we're down to the 290s, and I still think it's ugly. What else is there? BA. TV wants to look at BA. My goodness. Only thing I would tell you to do with BA is buy the dips, buy the dips, buy the dips. Just buy the dips. Looks like, you know what looks like BA is made out of? Palladium. Because palladium looks a lot like this. Even bigger, stronger. I don't think I've ever seen palladium do anything like this in my 38 years, and I grew up in the metals, on the exchange, in the metals exchanges. But this, EPA, I guess we'll use March. Maybe that won't do it. Palladium. Let's see if we can find it elsewhere. I know I've got it hanging around somewhere. Think of what chart it's on. Palladium. We'll find it. We'll throw it on any chart and we'll see what happens. There we go. I know I'd have it somewhere. Look at this craziness. Continuation pattern. And away it goes. Look at that market. That is palladium. Who would have thunk it? So, talk about the Russian connection. The only Russian connection we have is our cars are going to get expensive if this keeps up, because there's some of this in every catalytic converter, in every car that gets made, if emissions is being done properly. I don't think they're in Teslas, though, but there's a little bit of palladium and a little bit of platinum in catalytic converters on any gas-burning car. And this is basically controlled by the Russians. If you know, they supply most of it. So they're huge suppliers. It's been on the run for quite some time. At least that gives them one strong commodity that they're making money on. Not that I'm a big loving fan of Russia, but whatever. They control a lot of the palladium that comes out, that gets piped out into the world. And, you know, let's face it, Russia is probably not the richest country on the planet. Okay, so his leader might be one of the richest people on the planet, Russia's leader, but Russia as a country isn't. This isn't going to hurt them at all, having palladium go up like this. This is more expensive than gold. You realize that, right? By $1,000, $100. Got very much more expensive. So we're at like $110. We're at $13.27, 28. This is $14.39. So you got $110 there. Palladium worth more than gold. That's an interesting thing, isn't it? So anyway, this is certainly turning into an outside reversal down day. If we close down here, it means at least one more down day should come our way. So I don't know if that's the case or not. We'll find out when the OMNI gives us a signal. But that's basically what I wanted to show you cats in today's session. I want to thank you so much for coming down and joining us. Please come visit at livewithoscar.com. If you would like trading recommendations, I can give those to you, my OMNI real-time signals. Come to livewithoscar.com, make your way into my live trading room and ask me for that, or contact me. You can email me. If you can't find me, you're not trying hard, because you know, I mean, I'm on the internet. I've got the chat room. I've got the YouTube. I'm always here. There's emails. There's telephone calls. So if you guys would like to get a little closer to the OMNI and the OMNI chat room and the things that I do, come on down to livewithoscar.com and join. And if you need those recommendations, let me know. I'll try to help you out. I'll tell you one thing about the recommendations. They come out all night long because markets tend to wait for no man's sleeping habits. They don't seem to care about our human sleeping habits. If 3:30 a.m. market wants to be purchased or sold, we need to be reacting at 3:30 a.m. or 5 or 2 or whatever the number is. But here's the beauty of that. You can sleep. I'm on patrol. I'll wake you guys up with my alert system. Ding, ding, ding. It rings, it alerts, it tells you what to do, and then you can go back to sleep. So I'm there on duty to make sure that you guys can sleep. So if you take the trading recommendations, that's what I'll do for you. You sleep, I'll keep you on post, and I'll catch up to my sleep on the weekends. All right, traders, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys coming by. That's going to be the end of our session. Please share the videos, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that when I put out another one of these videos, or if I'm going to do a live class, you'll be notified with email, or however they notify you these days, that a live class will begin and we can continue watching these charts together. I hope this helps. Thank you for showing up. I'll see you cats on the other side.